rain wants to piss off. I didn't get up at 5 in the morning to go up to the yard to get set up for this week. Only for it to rain today. We've got a lot on, and I've been looking forward to getting on these arches. I'll be gutted if it stays. So I'm just about to do an arch over there. The other gang of lads have done this brickwork on this end, and what you'll see here is just there, the bonding is wrong on here because it should end up with a header there. Yeah, it should up with a header at the top so that you don't get the tiny little cuts. Now you'll see what I mean, because unfortunately you see we're on the wrong course. So what that means is you get little cuts. If you had it the reversed way and you finished on a header, you would obviously then all have big cuts all the way up, and you've got that on both sides, you see. But I can only piss with the cock I've got, unfortunately. Now, just to show you the former, if you look there, you've got a 1mm packer, you've got a 2mm packer, a 3mm packer, and then obviously it goes back the other way. And what that does, that gives you the camber, the 3mm camber. We've got our centre point there, which we've done the screw backs on, and then with this line, so I can get it undone, and then with this line going from the centre, then we can do each one as we go to make sure that we're following the radius. Finally going after a lot of getting over little issues here and there, but it's coming together now. So all done. Didn't go quite as we planned. Still looks nice, but didn't go as well as I'd hoped. So, as you might have seen from the story, I've just been building an arch. Now, we were putting an arch on someone else's work. Now, the margins that you play with these rubbed and gauge arches are bare minimum. I mean, a couple of mil and it throws you into disarray. So we had a little bit of a problem with it. It wasn't massively out. It's not, you know, a bad tradesman as such. It just wasn't quite within the realms of what it really needed to be. So what that left me with was stuff to get over. Now, you'll find in any walk of life, if you start wrong, you end wrong, or everything's always a lot more difficult when it starts off wrong. And that's the whole idea of all the prior preparation. You get everything sorted so that you haven't got any issues. Now, unfortunately, obviously jumping on someone else's work, we didn't do all the prior prep, we didn't do the brickwork, we didn't gauge the brickwork and things. So, you know, being 5 mil out of gauge over 4 courses when the arch has been made at dead on gauge, it throws you out. And then we had we've got on our building on the other end, we've got arches at 1125. Now the arch they've got that we've just gone over was 1140. Now it's 15 mil. So obviously we made a template for 1125. Now if you were to split that over the course of the whole arch, it's like half a mil per brick. You're not going to be able to split that. So what we did, we added a mil on the first 7 of each side, thinking that would make up the 15 mil difference. But the problem is, it was the angles. The angles were slightly out because it's compensating for 15 mil. Now, 15 mil across from a centre point, the angle can be thrown 2 degrees maybe. So obviously we then, wow, we got in a right muddle at one stage. We didn't know if we get kicked, punched or countersucked, to be honest, but we got there in the end, and everything is done correctly, and it looks okay, it looks good, but hopefully we don't have any of that issue when we come to do our ones on the main build that we're doing. So when you look at this arch I've done, when they're rubbed and gauged and they're rubbed on the front as well, they're smooth and you can sponge them and that as you're doing it, because obviously you've got to dip your bricks. But with these sort of sand face you've got on these, which you know, you don't see them very often, they don't look quite as crisp on the joints, because obviously you've got that sand texture on it. You don't quite get that crisp straight line on them. So when you look at it in a video, I can just see it just doesn't look absolutely crisp, and it's so difficult to keep clean on as well. So we've got 15 courses up to the head of the frame. Ollie's doing that bit there, look. So we've got about another 7 on here, then the arch goes on, and then we'll probably run about 4 or 5 courses over the top, and that might then just bring us to just the recessed panel, when the recessed panel terminates. So be a good lift, but yeah, we'll get this on later today. Just in case we have got any of them slightly out. Improvisation again. Just in case we have got any of them slightly out. Improvisation again. So we're halfway through building up, ready for the arches on that job. We've done one of them. We get a call saying about the other job we've been doing for the same contractor, building in between these beams and rafters and stuff. And Ollie pipes up and says, yeah, we'll do it tomorrow. He said he didn't like arches anymore. He'd had enough of it.
Yeah, a bit bored of it, really.
Couldn't believe it. So if you look there, there's a lip, and that's for pallet boarding. The client likes pallet boarding, so you're going to pallet that lower bit. But what they didn't account for when they measured it early doors, they didn't account for the lip for the pallet board. So when they designed that, as you can see, the brickwork's got to be nipped round there now to build in behind this oak unit, this oak rafter. So that's going to be fun. We've got to build in between these two as well. And then I think they said there's going to be open rafters at the back. We've got a skin to build in between these. That'd be a wet weather day for us, because they're going to get this fountain battened, and then we can come back and do this as and when the weather's appalling. That gives us some indoor work, but it's all nasty bits today, all ball ache bits. Building in between these today, and over there we left our arches so that we could get this finished for the roofer. Bloody ball bag of a job, but it's got to be done. And the oak frame, you know, for some reasons not quite the right heights and stuff. I think it's been measured up wrong or something, so we've got to sort that out as well. Glad I made this trail today. Goes quite well. Where the best bricklayers are made, in hampered spots like this. Look, not my best work, but it's still pretty full. Let's see what Ollie's like. How's he getting on? He ain't doing too bad. A couple of little holes, but he's getting there. And what, just pan over the work I've done as well, just to show that it's all decent, even though I'm What a ball bag, but she's in. Careful, I fucking land on that. Fucking snapped it. So you get days where you earn a fortune one day and you earn fuck all the next. And this is one of them days. You've only got to see how I'm bloody doing it. And all this lot in between the oak. There's a pain in the balls. So you get days where you earn a fortune one day and you earn fuck all the next. And this is one of them days. You've only got to see how I'm bloody doing it. And all this lot in between the oak. There's a pain in the balls. Awkward as how, as you can see from the first clip. Yeah, the joints are still fuller than most on these socials. Got to sharpen up, boys. If anything much spreads and videos like that, just click off the screen now. Because this is purely for a few young lads who have asked me that are starting college in September. So, I mean, I don't know exactly what they wanted, but if I go through a few things for you, you'll probably get something that you need. So, first of all, I mean, some people tap, and if that's their style, that's up to them. But for me, I don't tend to tap. If you get the muck wet enough, you ain't got to. You can just do it in one action. Another thing to note is the way I retrieve me muck, what direction I go. I always go in the direction that I travel, so along and up, and then that should, in theory, get you 9 times out of 10 a full joint. You're going to get bits of stone and bottom in your muck. Sometimes it might drag it out, but on the grand scheme of things, what you'll find is they'll generally be full. And obviously we've got a nice little intricate bit here, which I think I'm going to have to do that slightly. It's not too bad. So now what I've done, I've left that on and I've gone back to it, because it's easier to put your closures and up against solid work. So again, you see I've filled it. Now with these halves I've got here, they all vary in length, so you've got to kind of see them up to it to start. Now, again, go in the direction that they're up and you'll always get a full one. And then what you want to do is eye down, and then this bit is a little intricate little bit, 30mm step in. You can see. So what we do there in a minute is we put it where we think it's going to be, and then we just check the measurements that we know. And if you like that, judge it wrong, just put it in the frog of the brick like that. Don't be tempted to flick to your board, because what you'll end up with is a pile of poo everywhere. bricks will get covered, and you can't do clean work if you start off with dirty bricks. I had tapped one of them bricks. I've been light-handed on all of it, like all these little corners like that. If you push one way, that'll come in or out. It's just delicate. If you have the muck right, you ain't got to do a lot with it, and you get all. The result is you get all full joints. So this time of year, I just lay one trowel full and lay on top. So that'll do me about 2 bricks. I've pulled the back in, make sure I don't get any droppings down the cabin. I've feathered through to what I believe is a good bed, and what will give me a chance of getting the bricks down in one motion. So you just give your bricks a quick scan when you pick them up. That one had a chip on, so I spun it, and I've eyed over. You can see I'm eyeing down the reveal, so you've got it somewhere near for when you've got a few on, you can go back and plumb it. And then whatever I have left from retrieving from that brick, I put on the perp of the next brick, or half in this case. Again, just one trowel full, get me to the end comfortably. I've got quite a large trowel, and just feather through, and it's just very light. Anything you retrieve, keep for your next perp. Now when I put this brick in, you'll see that I put the front end down first, just slightly, and then I lift it up in one motion and put it down with my hand. And what that does, creates a bit of friction and fills that joint. Now when you retrieve from laying a brick, or a half in this case, go along and up. And what that does, that'll fill any micro holes you have. And just be very gentle. With a column like this, it's quite easy to get it out. If you tap it one way, tap it the other. Now what you'll notice is every brick was laid in one motion, because the bed's right, and that's the key.